Right, so what your angels, guides and ancestors want you to know today. You have a lot of spiritual cards on this in this spread. You have angels, God is here, spirit, spiritual relationship, which is with yourself, prayer, okay? So heavy. Oh, and this is my God card. So another divine presence here. What's happened here is your scales are now being balanced, and you were involved in a connection that eventually you just didn't see this as a safe passage, okay? And you've let go of this. That's why the let go card is here. It says you and your loved ones are protected. It was sideways. Spirit guided you out of this connection and into a connection with yourself and your spirit team, your angels, guides and ancestors, because it wasn't safe for you. And it says here, spirit protects you against crap relationships, okay? And that's landed on this energy over here, which I'll tap into in a bit. But essentially, this person was not helping you, okay? And you weren't on the right track whilst putting up with them. It feels like putting up with them. So you've released this. That's why the Two of Swords is upside down. I'd imagine you were in this energy, sort of like crossroads, constantly trying and putting up. I just feel like putting up with breadcrumbs, possibly abuse. And I just feel like this person worsened your fears. You know, like they made you live in fear. And yeah, I'm seeing a bridge here, and I believe spirit helped you cross this bridge so you could build this relationship with yourself and your intuition. This is you, okay? You found a connection instead of trying to get the connection here where you were experiencing breadcrumbs, harm and abuse. You're now having it with spirit, God and the angels, and spirit wants you to know this. And for most of you, I'd imagine you do know. All it is just a confirmation. Spirit also wants you to know that you're very close to getting this wish. So whatever wish it is that you've been wanting, you're close to it. So maybe if you're like, well, I don't know, write it down, because you've got a lot of divine cards here in this spread. So I'm tapping into somebody whose manifestation abilities are probably, you know, extremely high. So think about it, what it is you want. But I'm also hearing not with fear. Do it with love in your heart and trust. And also you're allowed to take a break. So if I'm tapping into somebody who's, you know, like maybe you're just like, well, I don't feel like I work that hard. Maybe mentally you're in stress, because we've got the stress card here. Maybe you try to do 101 things in your mind. You are on the right track, so don't sort of feel like spirit's telling you off or anything. I think spirit's just saying to you, you know, you're allowed to have a break, you're allowed to nap, you're allowed to stop, you're allowed to recollect, recalibrate, decompress. It's just confirmation that you're allowed to do these things. I think you're in an energy where you're having to clear some limiting. Look at that as well. Slow down on the deck, spirit. And it says, let this be your sign. So if you, and yeah, so just give yourself a break by the sounds of it. I think you're clearing limiting beliefs and you're releasing fears. You're releasing fears so you can manifest this wish easier. For me, this is written, whatever this wish is, but it's just about clearing the way so it's easier for you. And maybe part of that is actually taking a break, whatever that looks like to you. Because for some of you, I think you possibly do work really hard, but I think for some of you, it's mental energy. You just need to give yourself a break. And I think a lot of it has to do with this energy down here that I'll tap into. They were amplifying your fears, and you know, you were in an energy that wasn't safe, essentially, okay? And you've let go of this, you've released it, let go, release, and you recognized it wasn't a safe passage. But what's happening is this person has very, very, very strong feelings for you, okay? I'd be surprised if you're not feeling them, okay? Because they can't believe they lost you. they behaved in ways before they believed in karma. And also, I'm inclined to say spirit and God. I think they can recognize now what the not only the divinity within the connection, but how the divine has saved you here. Because I'm almost feeling like they've played these tricks or whatever manipulation, fear tactics that they were pulling. They've played this game dozens of times, and it's worked, but you've been released, and they know, they can feel in the energy, it's not just that, there's something different about it. And of course, because there's divine has stepped in, it's not just your willpower alone here, and the scales have been balanced. And I don't think they've often dealt with connections where there's been a divine balance going on, okay? And now they're having to go through the dark night of the soul and reap the karma that they gave out, basically. You know, it's lessons, and they gave you lessons that you didn't need to learn. And I feel like they scared and toyed with you, and now they're in the energy of they're scared that you're going to reject them, because they see you as their happy place, okay? This person knew who you were when they first met you. They knew who you were. But they feel like you tame their demons, okay? So you make them better, just by being in their energy. But I was about to say they're getting in trouble, because they're not silly. They knew who you were. This could be high-level soulmate, twin flame, okay? But they decided to muck about. They decided to play about, and it was a divine connection. And I'm tapping into someone who's highly protected, okay? Spirit protected you from this situation going any further. You know, perhaps you were recognizing you didn't feel safe, but your love for them or was way out of balance to some degree, okay? And spirit had to step in. So this person's energy, they've never felt as strongly about you as they do now, okay? They're in heartbreak. This could have been a long distance relationship, and they feel strong romance about you. It doesn't have to be. It could be, you know, they were just emotionally distant, but they're feeling very romantic about you. But I'm also feeling, now you're not around. Do you know what I mean? So it's sort of, I'd imagine this is an avoidant personality. They don't want to give you illusions anymore. So this person was possibly consistently giving you illusions, but I feel like they played a bad game, a damaging game, and spirit is not happy, okay? I feel like spirit literally had to sort of like tear through the space-time continuum to break you out of this. And maybe it wasn't just one connection, but maybe this was the sort of culprit. Underneath this, okay, they want a brand new beginning with you, and they want you to try it again, of course. But you're not bringing the kind of powerful emotions you once had to them anymore. You do recognise it's a safe passage. Yes, you might love them because they're your high-level soulmate or twin flame, but you're much more interested in your connection to spirit, and that's why you've got these cards out here: angels, God, pray, spirit, okay, and another God card, which is, this is a God card for me, and you're on the right track. And what's interesting, the only card that came upside down in this deck, sorry, the illusions did as well, is that this person knows you don't see this as your right path, okay? They know. Whereas before, you might have been under the illusion where your self-worth had been battered by this person to the point where you couldn't even recognize that. But it is a general reason, so just take it where it fits. But this person's going through the dark night of the soul, so they're reaping all the lessons for all the harm that they were causing you, okay? And a lot of this has to do with the fact they felt insecure around you, okay? Maybe this person, maybe you'd be surprised, this person actually does deal with insecurity, and I'm hearing social anxiety or something, and maybe there's something about them you just wouldn't think that. You know, maybe they come across really charismatic or funny, or there's something about them where it's not what you would naturally assume. Also, the reason why this person finds you, I'm hearing nerve-wracking, because it's a divine connection, and you know they've not been they've not been behaving divinely. They're also intimidated by your intelligence. So I might be tapping into somebody who's quite clever, and this person doesn't feel very secure in that area. They think that you're brighter than them, maybe you're book smart, or whatever it is. They don't feel like they measure up in that department. But I'm hearing maybe many departments they don't, you know, like, because you've got you're very funny here too. Maybe they're threatened, but I think they're just threatened by you, and insecure about it, even though they knew who you were. And rather than just facing those things that were going on, they decided to make your life a living hell and make it unsafe. And they've messed up bad here, because not only did you release them, spirit came in to release you. So the divine isn't happy with the situation. It was supposed to be the right path. They were supposed to do the work, you know, work through feeling insecure, work through the nerve-wracking feelings, not put someone down so they don't have to do the work. And that's what's happened here. And but the scales are being balanced, and you are on the right path, and you do not see this person as the right path. The two right path cards coming out upside down for that, you know, upside down in this arena and upright for you in a different deck. This person dreams about a future with you, and they're constantly wanting you next to them. So I'd be very surprised if you cannot feel them etching closer to your energy. I just feel that really strongly. But essentially this person breadcrumbed you and was cruel, behaved cruel. And I think they were poking on your imperfections, but I don't think this was the only person doing this. And I think spirit and the angels, I really feel like this energy of sort of like, they had to like push through the space-time continuum of the 3D matrix to pull you out of this, because you were way too divine. They were fed up watching people do this to you, breadcrumb you, be cruel to you, and just hone in on your imperfections, when really what was going on, it was about their imperfections and the way they felt around you. So instead of them recognizing that or doing that work, they were dishing it all out on you, and you've had to do some serious healing because of it. But maybe you're taking your healing, you know, it's always important to take your healing seriously, but maybe spirit's asking you to slow down. Yesterday came out a lot, surrender. The scales are being balanced. You're on the right path. Spirit and the angels and God are with you. They brought you through this, and divine justice is being served. But maybe just, I don't know if you're giving yourself a hard time because you're still sort of honing on your imperfections now or something, or, you know, whatever it may be. Do your best to just let it go a little bit, change course. But of course, it's just guidance. It's not law. It's just spirit. It's, you know, it's just advice from spirit, and you don't have to listen. Okay, I'm going to move here. Yeah, so this person could have been quite seductive in nature, maybe seductive with you. And that was part of the reason why they were distant with you, because it's easier to have these sort of surface connections than it is to have a divine connection. And maybe with these surface connections, they don't have to do any work. Do you know what I mean? They don't have to recognize that how they feel that someone's more intelligent than them. They don't have to recognize that they feel nervous when you know they're not going to see them again, or there was just something challenging about you as a person in your being. I think they're usually, I feel like the energy, like I don't think it's just this energy, they usually choose people that are sort of subservient, yeah. And I don't think it has to be just romantic, you know, like some people do just surround themselves with people that are like yes men, or you know, that kind of energy. And I'm not, although you do have a very angelic nature, you're kind, you're very giving and loving, you have a strong spirit, okay? So you're not just going to bow down to anyone but God, and you're ascending. Yeah, so you found your self-worth. So now it's all going back. That's now the scales are being balanced. It's like spirit has to sort of tear through the 3D matrix for you to pull you out of this, so they could, so divine balance could be served up. Excuse me, spiritual burp. Messages for the collective, please, in God's will. Tell me more. Anything else, Spirit, in God's will? For the divine collective, to help them with their journey. Yeah, so 2 heartbroken cards out for this person, different decks. Yeah, they want to contact you, and I think it might be a matter of weeks for some of you. And what's under this one? Yeah. They're scared that you're going to reject them. That's why they haven't done it yet. The Coffin card is here because they know they know that it's not just a mental decision that you've ended this, and you know, you've decided, oh, it's not really safe for me. They know there's a divine aspect to this, because for the most part they get away with this. I'm just very sure that this person knows that the divine has protected you here. It's not just your mind, you know, like your willpower. Tell me more, please, Spirit. If this person chose abundance, and abundance can be many things, you know, like mindset, or, you know, so forth, but for some of you it is money. If you know this person was choosing 3D stuff over you, you know, stuff that was going to stroke their ego, as opposed to choosing the person where they have to face and challenge their ego, instead of the unconditional love that they feel in their heart for you, Spirit's cut that down, okay? So not only have they lost that, they've lost you, and that's their dark night of the soul. And now they're starting to believe in karma. They know that you're connected to this. I'm not saying that you've sat around and you're ascending, and they can feel you ascending. They know that I don't know if they've got a reading or they are quite tapped in themselves, but you know, use it for their own gain. They just know. They know that this isn't just you, like just your willpower. 2 snake cards out here. So this person's tell me, what do you want me to know about that, Spirit? Did they... Yeah, so they could have been in a karmic relationship with energies like this. You know, just the people that don't actually genuinely love them, like not unconditionally. They're out for what they can get out of them, and they're out for what they... It's almost like transactional sort of situations. They prefer this. They don't have to look at themselves. They, you know... I'm getting energy like that. People, you know, they would kiss their feet, sort of energy. That's what they've been choosing. But time is up on this. If this used to serve them, literally, they might have served them. It's not. They can feel it's not serving them, and Spirit's made it that way, because there's not true love there. There's not the kind of love, the Cupid's arrow that they feel in their heart for you. So now they're going to become the chaser, but they know they have to make healthy choices. So maybe this person was wrapped up in things that weren't healthy, and they also knew that they'd probably have to give that up too. So perhaps this person tried to drag you down into their vibration, but Spirit was not having that. Tell me more, please, Spirit, for the highest good of all. Messages for the collective, please, Spirit, and God's will. Yeah, you're ascending. You keep popping out. You're ascending. They're going through the dark night of the soul, and you're ascending. Yeah, Phoenix, self-indulgence. Tell me more, please, Spirit. They're shocked at how much they love you. And they're shocked that you ran away. They're shocked that you seem beneath the mask. They're shocked it's over. Coffin. But like divinely over for you. I mean, they can feel in your energy that the only reason why you would be thinking about them is because they're pushing into your energy field. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be able to pull this spread. Twin flames. It's their energy. It's not your energy. It's just their passion for you. They look at your pictures a lot. They're ruminating about you. And they're constantly thinking about high level commitment with you. So it's in your energy. But just be mindful about if you find yourself honing in on your imperfections. It's just be, because this person is going through, they're doing the learning because they have to. They have no choice. But if you find yourself like honing in on what you perceive as imperfections, it may well be because this person hasn't done the work and they're getting closer to you. So just send that back. Yeah, so this person's some regrets, but there was supposed to be. They want to come in. I'm not going to lie, it feels like they haven't done the work yet. This feels like it would be a karmic relationship still. Because that energy I'm feeling off that card is they want to use their wand, okay? Yeah, they have love for you, Two of Cups. But they're interested in your attractiveness. Like, it's that energy. But you've stopped this. You know this. High Priestess is here. But just be... This may be confirmation to, like... In case they've really developed some amazing mask and you think maybe they've turned a corner. But they know you're heading towards this, or you're already in this. You're in material comforts. And it doesn't have to be money, although it could be. But maybe you are just more comfortable in your own skin. You're more you buy the things you want, or you make the things you want. Yeah, you're healing. You're the runner. This is over for you. It was fated that you would just put this in the past as a memory and not want to manifest this anymore. But they didn't know that. They thought they owned you. Yeah, maybe you don't even feel like you love them like you used to. I mean, there might be a bit of love there, sort of. Yeah, you're moving away. Six of Swords. Yeah, because this person just brought you Ten of Swords, and now they're in the Ten of Swords, and they want to get out the Ten of Swords. But this person only brought you conflict in the Ten of Swords. Like, that's literally what they gave you. And I really do feel like the Divine in Spirit had to rip through the 3D matrix to pull you out. Maybe this could have taken you under. Like, that's why Spirit's doing some work on them. Exactly. Divine justice, that this would happen. Oh, sometimes the energy... I mean, they're trying to work on themselves. They're having trouble with their money and work and things like this. So it might be because they've got two heartbreak cards out here in Ten of Swords. But it's what they gave you. And it's because they were juggling you and pretending they weren't being deceptive, or... Oh. I'll move deck soon, Spirit. Yeah, another heartbreak card. This is them. You're not in heartbreak. They've got 3 heartbreak cards. Maybe they got to break someone's heart to get to you. I just got the image of them breaking your heart and spirit then going bam, 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 bam around them. So if they had like a posse of people or people around them, that I don't know, that it's like it's gone back 3 times to them. So I wouldn't be surprised if this person fiddles with magic or something for it to bounce back 3 times like that. Yeah, and whatever they've chosen or doing, they're just in a lot of conflict and they don't even know how to heal from it. I do think it has something to do with money or something, and they're bored with them. But you're just ascending. I'm being brought here. You're ascending. You've ascended past this twin flame connection and many connections. Yeah, I think you're heading towards a soulmate. I think that's how far, you know, you're so over the twin flame experience. You're more than happy to head towards a soulmate and, you know, no twin flame for this for this lifetime. Yeah, this person can't sleep. And the Gemini there, it doesn't really mean that, but I have to go with what, you know, my instincts are, which when I'm working with spirit on the table like this, is that they got double-minded, like double life or double... What they present is not what they are, or they do have some issues. Maybe they're hiding their regret. They're having to hide this heartbreak. They're having to hide the fact they're in this 10 of Swords. And they know it was all because they were selfish. But essentially they just weren't as awakened as you. You know, they were still loving that 3D matrix as though it was the only thing that ever existed. Yeah, you're walking karma in this situation. I don't know why I'm hearing this, but it's like you I don't care what this person has. It's like you have the pot of gold. And it's not about money, but it's the energy. You have it. Even if whatever their status looks like, you have the energy because you're working with the divine. Like, that's why all those divine cards came out earlier. And I'm not saying the divine doesn't love them and only loves you, because, you know, that's silly. The divine makes everyone, but they got some lessons to learn. They have to go through the karma they've been dishing out. They have to now learn the lessons. And, you know, that's love also. Yeah, because you're healers. That pot of gold is healer. You've got healing, divine energy. I think you give this person ideas and things. You tame them. You inspire them. And they've lost you. Spiritual awakening. Ascending spiritual awakening. Not as awakened as you. Healer. Twin flame. 2 twin flame cards. Yeah, it's over for you. That's why Scorpio's out here. Yeah, you see this person at the very least manipulative and selfish, but I'm feeling like it's borderlining on other levels. like they might tick some of the boxes on the sociopathic scale or something, and spirit like literally tore you out of this to escape, so you could have this spiritual relationship with yourself and put that before this twin flame journey, so you could ascend. Transformation here. Yeah, the right path came upside down, but over their energy, you know, because you do not see it as a right path, and spirit didn't want you to either. Yeah, this person's just into seduction. Maybe that's what they were doing with you. They're trying to treat you like a... I just saw divine feminine pop out as well. Like, you can't be treated the way they were trying to treat you. I almost get a feeling like this person, is they a bit of misogynist? They sort of see women as good for one thing or something, or, you know, something like this. But, whatever. Or it might be their mask, I don't know. Yeah, now seduction's upside down. They don't want, now they know that they can't do that. They're clever enough to know that they can't do that. It says I knew exactly what I was doing. What they were doing was trying to get you into a place so they didn't have to grow. But they knew who you were. They knew it was a divine connection. So what, you know, I find it almost like baffling that they would really not see what was going to come of this. Maybe, I don't know, they were just under the influence, or so wrapped up in their ego, they just thought, yeah, it seems divine, like this person, you know, if there is such a thing as a twin flame, this person feels like it, even though it doesn't, you know, it's not. Yeah, they wanted to make you an upside down divine feminine because they were an upside down divine masculine. So you just went through emotional storms with these people, this people or person. I'm saying people, they've got other people in their energy. Yeah, they don't want it to be over. But you chose peace. That was your choice. You find this far too complicated. I better stop. One more card, Spirit, for the Divine Collective. Yeah, this person feels cursed for trying to make you an upside down divine feminine. They know. They know. I feel like you just came with pure energy, pure love, gentleness. I'm not saying you're perfect. The divine isn't about being perfect, but in comparison to this person, you had much more perfection in terms of divinity, if there's such a thing. This person was manipulative. They were trying to reduce you so they could carry on with and they feel cursed now. They realise too late. Realisation card upside down. They should have now they believe in karma. Now they see you're the happy place. Now they see that we haven't got the Muse card out here, but it's something of that. You're the one holding the energy. That's why you got the angels, God, spiritual, spirit, and all of those cards at the beginning. But they did not think you would move on, because there was a time you wouldn't have done. It was spirit and the divine that stepped in that helped you move on. And it's not to say, you know, don't give yourself a pat on the back. It took a lot of courage, but it wasn't only you. It wasn't only you. Anyway, I'll leave that there. Thank you so much for being here. Archangel Michael, please be with me. Please be with the collective. Please bless us. Please protect us. So mote it be.